Greater success and excellence comes to those who think differently about what they're doing. There is no question that some people have difficulty achieving things because they just can't deal with any level of tension or any level of stress. And I thought about this recently when I had a conversation with someone, and I said to them, well, here comes the stress. And I have to tell you, when I said that, I wasn't thinking of it negatively. I was thinking about just the tension that you feel when you're working on something important and significant. If we look at the word stress, we tend to think of it as a negative thing. We've attached a negative meaning to it. But one meaning for stress is something of importance, something of significance. You know, if you were to stress an idea or to stress a point, it would mean that you are really highlighting it. And that's what I have come to think of stress as. Not so much strain and not even so much tension, but the intensity that you feel when something is important. Sometimes when I'm chatting with folks who want to do more public speaking, they'll talk about being able to calm their nerves in front of an audience. And I happen to think that if you feel the adrenaline and you feel a little bit of butterflies, that's good. That's your body saying to you that this is an important moment, and it is alerting you that you are in a moment that is significant. Pay attention. It's important. And I think that that's what happens when you begin to work on an objective, whether it's a product release or a company launch, a career change, or a great speech. It's understanding that at that moment of stress, you're dealing with something of importance. We've used the analogy before when we talked about exercise and how the body gets used to a certain kind of tension, and then in order for the muscles to expand, you have to work those muscles more, and you have to stress or push or expand the capacity, not the capacity, but the use, I guess, of the way you use your muscles. And that stimulates more growth. Well, it's the same thing with achieving any kind of excellence, whether it's in your sales career, whether you're looking to develop a better marketing program, whether you're entering into a new field. Initially, it's going to feel very uncomfortable and very difficult. And you're going to feel what we think of as stress. It's going to feel like, oh my goodness, can I deal with this? Is this something I can do? When I started my career, I had the benefit of working for some tough people. And sometimes I wonder whether some of the young folks today will have the benefit of that. Now, you might think of this as negative. I don't know. But I found it to be empowering when someone said to me, you don't know what you're doing. You're not doing this well. This is not good enough. Do it again. Because in that process, I learned what was acceptable and what wasn't. And when you are told point blank that you need to be better, that this is not acceptable, that your performance is below where it should be, well, that feels a little stressful, but that's good information to have. That information will certainly give you the knowledge that you need to rise to new levels. Now, whether or not you can deal with that emotionally, whether your ego can deal with that is another matter. But that's an example of stress that you might feel, whether it's on the job or whether you're doing something and you realize this is just not cutting it. It's like if you're putting together something and you're screwing something in and you're tightening and tightening and tightening, and then you realize it's the wrong part, or you've got this thing tight, but it's the wrong side. You got to take that thing apart and you've got to realign it and do it again. Well, that kind of stress is good. That kind of stress, that kind of situation where you see that something is not working, and no matter how much effort you've put into it, that you have to then make an adjustment, that's good to know. So I want you to begin to think of stress a little differently, not as just strain and not be a person who has difficulty hearing the truth about where you are, hearing the truth about your performance, but someone who looks at the stress of doing the work, the stress of even hearing bad news, as another piece that contributes to excellence, another piece that tells you that not quite there, but I have better information now. I'm on my way there. I'm going to be able to get there. It is fascinating to watch someone who is committed to excellence, because what you see in that process is someone who is working on something, and you might look at their work at some point and say, wow, that looks great. But for them, it's not good enough. They've got more to do. And when you ultimately see what they've done, you realize, oh, this is a master at work. This is someone who really knows what they're doing. Now I understand where their focus was. Now I understand what was going on. Sometimes the thought of what's ahead, the thought of what's involved, can be stressful. But don't let that stress you out. I've had conversations sometimes with people, and they've had difficulty when I've said to them, I think I could help you with this. I think you could do a better job with this. I think that this isn't quite there. Sometimes people immediately defend themselves, which is, natural. You're going to defend yourself. You're going to defend your work. But look at the stress of constructive criticism, the stress of miles to go, and the stress of that tension that you feel when you're working at something and you're not quite there positively. Stress can be very positive. It takes pressure to make diamonds, and it takes a lot of exercise to get in shape and to stay in shape. It's the same in every other area of your life, particularly in your career and in your business. You're going to have some stressful moments, but those stressful moments are there to teach you so that you will grow and that you can rise to the level of performance that you're capable of. If you like this tip, give me a thumbs up. Let me know. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel. And if there's someone you know that you think could benefit from this tip, please share it with them. Hopefully they'll value it. Hopefully they will take these ideas and put them to work and start to see new levels of excellence in their life. I'll see you next time.